Hey, guess what? I went to my little YouTube channel thing today and looked at it and noticed that I have 100 subscribers. That's really kind of cool. And I know there's, people out there who have thousands and thousands of subscribers to their YouTube channel, which I think is just great. That's not really ever been a goal for me. If there are no subscribers, that really just kind of suits me fine, because I make the videos not for myself. Obviously they're to share with other people, but my goal is not to promote myself. That's what I'm trying to say. My goal is just to share all these 20 years worth of tips and tidbits that I've picked up with other people. That's my goal. If it ends up making subscribers, great. If not, great. Whatever. I really honestly thought that only maybe my sister and maybe 2 or 3 friends would ever watch any of the videos. So it seriously just amazes me anytime someone else subscribes or even leaves a comment. See, now that I've said that, you just watch. Seriously, I will probably go back to my channel later today and someone will have dropped me. I'll be down to 99. That would be just my luck. But anyway, I thought if I was any kind of crafter worth my salt, I would have some kind of awesome 100 subscriber celebration giveaway from one of my sponsors. Well, I don't have sponsors. I don't have a giveaway. I have nothing. So I thought, what could I do to celebrate? The only thing I could come up with, I polished my nails. I know, right? It was like perfume on a pig's ear. But, it's all I could come up with. I didn't even go to the salon. I just slapped the polish on myself in about 5 minutes, because I know by the end of the day it's all going to be halfway off anyway, because I'm so hard on my hands. And I guess if I was really crafty, I would have painted little landscape scenes on each one, or maybe like an exact replica of Starry Night just on that one, because, I think that's what you're supposed to do now. But, yeah, this is all I got. Okay, see, now these are going to distract me, because I catch the color in my eye, and I've learned after doing these videos that I do tend to kind of talk with my hands, and so that's going to bother me. I'll try to stay focused, though. I have lots that I want to show and talk about. I may have to divide this up into more than one video, because I don't want to go on for an hour. Nobody wants to watch an hour-long YouTube video. I don't want to watch your hour-long YouTube video, to be honest. I don't have the attention span for it, so I can't really expect other people to have that kind of attention span for my inane rambling. But I'm going to try to keep it in one video, because everything I'm going to show and talk about is linked. And this kind of fascinates me. I love hearing other people talk about their creative process. And, not just watching them work in a video, or even watching them just show, the steps that they went through to get to where they got. But I want to know how they came up with the idea in the first place. What led to that idea? Did they see something someplace else? Because that's usually what it is for me. I see somebody did something, and I don't ever try to copy it exactly, because I can't, but I do my rendition of whatever they did. And that's like 99% of everything I do. I got the idea from somebody else. But I always wonder, is everyone else like that, or do they just come up with stuff out of the blue on their own? I'm fascinated by those kind of people, because I can't do that. So I'm going to talk about kind of a creative process that I've gone through lately. I am fixing to have a little creative shift in focus. I've been working a whole lot on art journals and junk journals and smash books and that kind of thing for the past several months. And I've been pretty productive. I posted a picture of these on Facebook the other day, and I didn't realize that it kind of looked like one journal, and some people were commenting, oh my gosh, it's the fattest journal ever. Well, no, it isn't. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 journals. Each one is deliciously fat. But these are what I've been concentrating on for the past several months. I'd like to say, you know, I mean, I guess if I was a normal person, I would say that this represents, you know, 2 years of journaling every day, and this is what I come up with. No, y'all, this is since June, okay? This is how obsessive compulsive I am. And when I throw myself into a project, I throw 150% into it. And sometimes I'll get good results like this. I mean, this is a lot of stuff for just having, I mean, these did not exist prior to June of this year. So it's been maybe 3 months. So, you know, you can get really great results. But the flip side of that is you can get burned out. And, you know, that doesn't mean that I'm throwing art journals out and never want to see them again. It means that I'm ready to have a shift in focus. I will still continue to make journals. I have boxes upstairs full of other journals that I've done over the years. It's, you know, and handmade books and things like that. It's something I will always do. But it's not always my focus. And I just woke up the other day and just was like, okay, I think I'm done. I'm done with that. I'm ready to concentrate on something else. So, I started thinking, you know, what am I ready to concentrate on? I want to do, or I want to learn how to do nice lettering for journals and books and different things, because I feel that's one area where I'm really deficient. I don't do good lettering. My handwriting, my everyday handwriting looks like a serial killer. It used to be nice. I used to have really good penmanship. I don't anymore. I don't know what happened, but it's bad. And I even took a calligraphy class one time, and the teacher was this German woman or something, and she said to me, "You will never do calligraphy. You are too stiff." And she was right. I was too stiff. And she was also right. I was never able to do calligraphy. And I've tried several times. And I guess I'm too stiff. I don't know what it is, but I fail consistently at it. Sorry. Water. And I don't I don't need to master everything that I try, but I love to try new and different things and to try to improve in areas where I feel I could really use it. And lettering is one of those areas. Plus, it's something that I know that I could use a lot in these types of journals and things. So I really want to take a class. Hang on, need a drink. So I got online and I started Googling, looking for some online classes on lettering, not calligraphy, just lettering for art journals. Those kind that really they teach you how to do some techniques rather than alphabets. You know, where you can take any alphabet, take your own handwriting, and they show you how to do these cool techniques to turn it into something really decorative. So I started Googling that. And in my Googling, I ran across a video from Tisha Moore. That's it. It was a video series that she did. It was several years ago, and she was showing herself in real time creating several layouts in some of her journals, which, as we all know, are amazing. They're instantly recognizable. She has such a strong personal style, and I watched all of them. It was fascinating just watching her and listening to her talk through her creative process of how she came up with her ideas. And she's one of those who just has completely original ideas that blow me away. So I watched her videos, watched her lettering, but I found that I was even more fascinated by her creative process and the pages that she was making. And if you've watched or seen her stuff, you know that she uses a lot of collage elements magazine pages and cutouts, and she makes people shapes and out of cutouts, and she also takes images of people and alters them in fun ways. You know, she puts the pointy hats. Anytime you see a face with a pointy hat on it, you think Tisha Moore, right? Am I right? Exactly. It's her style. It's what she does. So I was watching her do these little people shapes, and it just looks so fun, and I really wanted to do that. So I didn't quite, I kind of, you know, put my whole lettering goal on the back burner because I was kind of obsessing over Tisha Moore's people. And I thought, okay, I want to make some people shapes like that. And that, I started Googling for images for, you know, people parts. I needed faces, and I had a fairly good collection of images, but I knew I was going to need a lot. So I started looking for, you know, heads and arms and legs and hats and shoes and clothes and a lot of paper dolls. Printed out a lot of those vintage, what you call them, articulated paper dolls, you know, where they have little jointed arms and legs. Found some really good images for those. So I wanted to make dolls. I didn't want to copy Tisha Moore. You know, I didn't want to put pointy hats on everything and then cut out big eyes to you know, because that's very, it's instantly recognizable as her style. So I didn't want to copy her style, but I did want to copy her idea for altering images into these funny human or paper doll shapes, and I've always had a love for paper dolls, so this was just a win-win thing. So I started collecting images and quickly realized that if I didn't have a good way to organize these images, the whole project was going to be a disaster, because it was a lot of little, you know, little heads and little hats and little things, and then some larger thing, you know, bodies, and I needed to be able to keep up with them, to have them in something that was easy for me to look through to find what I wanted to put together these little people. So I knew that I was going to have to clean out my ephemera notebook. And that's really a misnomer, because it's not really ephemera, it's just images and stuff. So I got it out, and I actually had two binders, and they both looked somewhat like this big black generic binders stuffed full of sheet protectors and like baseball card sheets full of images. One had images and collage sheets and things that were just ready to pull out and use, and the other one was full of what I called my master sheets, and that really came about from years ago, before digital collage sheets even existed. You could buy printed collage sheets from companies and use those in your work, but you know, you wouldn't have like a file on your computer saved where you could go and print it as you needed it. This was just a one-time digital sheet that you were not supposed to ever make a copy of. Okay, I don't know of a single person, a single artist on the face of the earth who has never made a copy of a digital collage sheet. Now hopefully they've only made it for themselves and their own personal work and not used it for any kind of, you know, financial gain. Even so, it's still a copyright infringement, but I just can't help but think the people that made those things and who still make them today, they understand that you're going to make copies of it. I admit I did. I still do. So, boy, I just didn't really intend to confess that. Oh well, what's done is done. I'm a horrible person. There you go. I copied my collage sheets. So anyway, I would have this binder full of my master sheets that I would make the copies from, and then another binder full of the actual copies, or that would also be full of, you know, stuff that I've ripped out of magazines and things like that. Well, I realized that it was ridiculous to have those two binders, and that some of those collage sheets I've had for literally almost 20 years, and some of them, even though I have copies of them, I've never used. I suddenly realized I just don't have a need to keep those master sheets like that. If I find some awesome image that, you know, I just really want to use over and over and over again, I need to get over that. I just need to use it, and when it's gone, I need to let it go and know that I may never have that image again, but I might come across something even better. So it was sort of a, you know, therapeutic, cathartic process. I integrated my master sheets with my ready-to-use collage images. I know this is so, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, she's crazy anal retentive, and you're right. But that's what I had, it's what I did. This is where I am. Integrated the two. In the process, got rid of a lot of images because I had duplicates. You know, I would make 2 or 3 copies of an image or a sheet that I really liked, and I might use, you know, parts of it, and then I would save the rest. But I'd have 2 or 3 copies that I never even touched. So I had duplicates. Tons and tons of images. Really good images that I didn't want to just throw away, but I didn't want to keep them forever either, because I've already kept them for one forever, and I don't want to have them for another forever, you know? So that's where my Use It Up journal came into play, because that was the whole idea behind this thing. And I just did a flip through on this recently. But I'm going to do another quick one because even in just this past week, it has grown significantly. Like, I've had to add pages to it. And I need to get down here because this is going to mess up my camera angle. So I went through my binders, my Ephemera binder and my master sheet. I pulled out things that I had duplicates of, or images that, you know, to be honest, I was just tired of looking at because I had them for so long. And some of them I did toss. There were a few that I did toss. Most of them I tried to work into here. And this journal, my Use It Up junk journal, I'm calling it finished, in that it's not something that I intentionally work on regularly now. There's only a few blank spaces left in it, and if I want to add more pages, I will. Like I said, I have added a few pages to it, but you know, I may continue to stick stuff in it now and then indefinitely, but for all intents and purposes, it's finished. So sorry, I need water. I have allergies. Something awful. Okay. So, I took some of my images and just stuck them really basically kind of randomly in the book just to cover up blank space, knowing that at some point I may stick something over this and hide it completely, and that's okay. I'm good with that. So, I'm just going to do a quick flip through. I had a lot of Tisha Moore's collage sheets, or I guess they were Zetiology, that I cut up and just covered blank pages with. I did that throughout the book. Some, like this one was one of the first pages that I did, and then I had these 3 different sized images of the Last Supper, and didn't want to toss them, but didn't want to keep them, you know, that weird kind of thing, so I just stuck them there. So I did a lot of layering over stuff that I had already layered. On another video, I showed how to do these backgrounds. This is those 35mm photographs with bleach sprayed onto them, and I had a bunch of parts and pieces left over, stuck them in here. So some things haven't changed, some have, but this was a really good way to not only fill up this book, put some good backgrounds down, but to also empty out my collection of images that had just gotten way too big. It had become, you know, I was really just hoarding them. That's all there is to it. When you collect them and you get so many of them but you don't ever use them, well, that's just hoarding. And, you know, I guess there are worse things I could hoard, but I really wanted to not be so much of a supply collector and more of a supply user. So that's where I'm at now. Oh, I gotta put this on here, I forgot. This is an actual CD insert from a Dixie Chicks CD, and then I found that vintage image of these three kind of cowgirl looking girls and put it on their CD thing, which I just find hilarious. It's very entertaining for me, so I'm going to stick it in there. Here's one of the pages that I tipped in just with duct tape. That's a stack of phone book papers glued together. That's all that is. I think that's all new. That's new. This guy, I just ran across him yesterday. I had put, these were some images out of my binder, put those down, but then I saw him, it was an advertisement in Texas Monthly. Oh, that's just fabulous. Check that mustache. I had to keep him. Stuck him in there. More image duplicates. There's another page, extra page. So you can see that this really, sometimes they're so thick I can't tell if it's one or two. This really filled up quickly when I cleaned out those binders. And I love it even more. My next step is to go through, and I have several of these spreads like this that are just devoted to a specific color. And I'm going to put tabs on those pages so that I can find my orange section or my blue section when I want to add something to it. And I will continue to put cool advertisements and stuff in here as I come across them. I did get some, it started kind of falling apart at the back. This is not one of those composition books like people are using. This is a Moleskine Cahier, which is similar. It's the same size, not as many pages, completely different type of binding. But when I saw those composition book journals, you know, I wanted to try it right then, and I didn't have a composition book, so I used this because this is what I had. And starting about here, it's a section, one of the signatures started coming unbound, so I just went through and reinforced all the pages with duct tape. This is working just fine. And I don't mind the look. You know, it's a junk journal. Good grief, why would I mind there being tape on every page? See, these are all image collections that I added, that I already had, and that was stuff out of my binder. So there we go. There we have it, all done. Got my image binder cleaned out in preparation for these silly paper dolls that I wanted to make, which came about because I want to learn how to do better lettering. You see how all these things are connected? So, where's my binder? Here's my binder, my new binder, and I have another one like this. I need to divide this up into two because it's too fat. And, you know, I am going to add stuff to it and take stuff out, and it's hard because it's fat.